Welcome back. This part we are going to look into review writing part 2. In this part particularly we are going to look into useful phrases and word cloud. Let's move on. In this slide you can see a few useful phrases that you can use when you are writing your introduction. If you are writing a review for a movie, you can use phrases like it's a romantic film, it's an adventure film, a horror film, an animated film, a comedy, and etc. Next, if you are writing a review about a book, you can mention that this well-written book, this informative book, or fascinating. Next, if you are writing a review about a restaurant, you can start by an interesting restaurant that I have visited recently is, and you can mention the name of the restaurant and you can continue with the writing. Next, if you are going to write a review about smartphone, you can mention I recently bought a new smartphone and continue by mentioning what type of phone is that. For example, Samsung Dynamic 21 and I am in love with it. Next, we are going to look into useful phrases that you can use when you are writing your main part, which would be the second and third paragraph. When you are writing your main part, you can start by mentioning the details about the thing that you are reviewing. For example, if you are reviewing about a film, you can mention the film is set in and give in the details on the time or the era the movie is set in, and then what the film is about as well. For books, you can use the phrase, the first half of the book is about. The phrase, the plot has an unexpected twist, this one you can use when you are reviewing both film as well as book. On the other hand, if you are writing a review for a restaurant, you can use the phrase, this restaurant is indeed a well-known place for foodies. When you are writing a review for gadgets, this phrase will be very useful for you, which is it has many amazing new features, and then you can go on by explaining all the features that you have in the gadget. For movie, you can also use I love the cast of the characters in the movie, followed by mentioning a few of the cast that you liked and why you liked this cast. The next useful phrase would be I especially enjoyed reading the second part of the book. When you are going to use this phrase, make sure that you mention the reason why you enjoyed reading the second part of the book. And the next one, when you are using the phrase, the most outstanding feature is, this one you can use when you are writing a review for gadgets, followed by mentioning which gadget that you find, which feature of the gadget that you find the best in your opinion. The next useful phrases are the ones that you can use when you're writing your conclusion. The first one, it's a great film for action lovers or horror fans. This one you can write when you are writing a review about action movies or horror movies. The next phrase is I definitely recommend it to film goers, where this is your recommendation for film review. Another phrase that is worth writing is it's worth seeing. It means that the movie is something that can be watched by others. The next two phrases can be used when you are writing conclusion for book review, which are overall, this book is suitable for all ages. The next one, it should be on your must-read list. The next useful phrase that we have is, all in all, I would rate the Spice Restaurant 4.5 out of 5 stars. This one, you can edit the name of the restaurant and you can mention the rating when you are writing a review about restaurant, a place that you recommend for people to try out the food. Last but not least, when you are writing a conclusion for a gadget review, you can use the phrase, "I would definitely recommend this phone to my friends. It is a dream phone for everyone." So that's all for useful phrases that you can use when you're writing your review. Next, let's move on to word cloud that you can use in your writing. Right now, you are looking at word cloud that you can use when you are writing a review for a movie. These are examples of words. For example, overly sentimental. You have fantasy, predictable, musical, animation, suspenseful, documentary, suspense, family-friendly, adventure, portray, dramatic, frustrating, mystery, adventurous, fascinating, epic, insightful, imaginative, engaging, inspirational, thriller, drama, honest, fast-paced, entertaining, biography, feel-good, award-winning, humorous, animated, and epic. If you are unsure of the meaning of some of the words given here, feel free to ask your teacher as well as refer to a dictionary. Next, moving on, let's look at the word cloud that you can use when you are writing a review about a book. These are the words. Let's look at them. First one would be best-selling, flashback, action, fast read, feel good, predictable, language, poorly written, remarkable, dull, engrossing, adventure, simple, motivating, story, confusing, engaging, depth, readable, empty, touching, punchy, must, published, fictional, irrelevant, read, and illustrate. Moving on, the next word cloud would be for gadgets. Okay, for gadgets, the word cloud includes technology, email, wireless, tablet, equipment, online, application, convenience, touch screen, convenience, computer, screen, camera, high-tech, browsing, network, laptop, lifestyle, sharing, multimedia, communication, iPad, display, and internet. Now that we are done with useful phrases and word cloud that you can use when you are writing your review, let's look at how you will be evaluated based on your writing. How will your work be assessed? Okay. In total, you are supposed to get 20 marks for this particular essay. These 20 marks are divided into 4 different components, which are content, communicative achievement, organization, and language. Each of these you will be awarded with 5 marks for each of the criteria, totaling to 20 marks. To always help you to keep in track on whether you are answering all these criteria, let's look at the first one. When you are writing your content, always remember to ask yourself these 4 questions, which would be, the first one is, did you answer the question? Okay, you can get the questions from the stimuli that you are given when you are answering the question. Next, did you address all the requirements of the task? The third one would be, is there anything missing? And the fourth one, are you on track? Are you on track? It means that you are writing the essay on that given particular topic without diverting to irrelevant topics. Moving on, next would be communicative achievement. In this, you should ask yourself whether you used the right register or not, as in the vocabulary, you can help yourself by referring back to the useful phrases and the word cloud that we have discussed earlier. Next, how is your tone? Make sure you use the right tone, whether it is formal or informal when you are writing. Next is the reader convinced. When you are writing a review for a certain product or a certain thing, you must ensure that you are convincing the reader on whether the product that you are reviewing is good or bad. For that, you are supposed to give information as well as reasons to support your review. Next is to use the right format in your writing. Next, to score well in organization, you must always remember to ask yourself if your ideas are cohesive, as in you must remember to include thesis statement, topic sentence, explanation, example, and conclusion in your writing. And the next one would be using linking words and cohesive devices in your writing. If you are not familiar with cohesive devices and linking words, you can refer to your teachers or you can refer to your textbook. Moving on. Okay, the next part would be language. Okay, in language, you should make sure that to ask yourself, did I use any less common word or is it used correctly? Although you used bombastic words in your writing, in order for you to get marked in language, you must make sure that you use those words correctly. Next, you must always remember to use a variety of sentences when you're writing your essay, as in you can write a mix-up of simple sentences, compound sentences, as well as complex sentences. And that's all from me. If you have any questions regarding what I have presented earlier, feel free to ask your teachers. And my colleague, Mr. Lutfi, will continue with part 3 and part 4. All the best in your writing. Thank you.